Thursday, unless it's like a Tuesday or Wednesday, depending. Maybe Saturday or Sunday, kind of, around the holidays. Welcome, and we are going to talk a lot about the NBA today, and then we're also going to talk about the WWE. We have a big Backlash Premium Live event coming up. However, I cannot do this by myself. I need my tag team partners from wonderful Bloomington, Indiana. Chris King. Chris, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well, Jimmy. It has been a crazy beginning to the second round. Let's go.
Speaking of seconds, my second partner, the namesake, the podfather, if you will, Rod Morgan is in his Indianapolis Pacers hoodie. Rod, how are we tonight?
I'm incredibly excited. I've always been a Pacers fan. I've
never
been a fan of another NBA team. I don't talk about another NBA team. I live here in Indiana. I'm incredibly excited about my Pacers. 2-0 over the Cavs. Let's go.
You've never worn another team's jersey to a Pacers home game. That's also well documented, so that's good. Chris, I have a question for you. Who did the marbles dance better? Tyrese Halliburton after his Game 2 winning shot, or Pedro Serrano after his home run in Major League 2?
Pedro.
No question.
The answer's always Pedro.
Because he got down. He got down with it, Halliburton did it, but, whatever.
It's Pedro.
It is. Rod, do you think that was a finable offense for Tyrese Halliburton, or was he just saying what everyone was thinking?
I think it's both, right? I think he definitely got fined, and I think it was a fine that was absolutely well worth it. And if I was in Tyrese's position, I probably would have done the same thing.
So, Rod, I have a question for you. How big of a person is Kenny Atkinson by saying he's not going to dwell on the 3 missed calls on the Pacers in the final minutes of that game? How big of a person is that?
Well, it's the ever-present dance that NBA coaches have to do, right? You can't outwardly criticize the officials because you get fined, and nobody wants to get fined. But if you don't bring it up as a talking point, then you're probably not going to be able to massage the situation, move it a little bit more to your side. So, there's a bit of a war of words going on between Chris Finch and Steve Kerr as well out in the West Coast. So it's just the same old from NBA coaches. But how magnanimous of the Coach of the Year winner, Kenny Atkinson.
No flagrant foul on Donovan Mitchell, so that was a missed call as well. A lot of missed calls, which means everything worked out how it should. Chris, in your wildest imagination, did you think the Pacers were going to be up 2-0?
No, not 2-0. I was praying that we are able to steal one in Cleveland. I'll be honest, I'm optimistic. I'm a fan. I want the Pacers to win. I did not see us winning both games.
So, Rod, I know Tyrese Halliburton is extremely overrated, as you've mentioned many, many times. Where is this putting him in Pacers lore right now, since obviously you are one of the biggest Pacers fans?
Well, I think that when you talk greatest Pacers of all time, it still basically starts with number 31, right? The man that played his entire career in Indianapolis, the man who had 9 points in 8 seconds in Madison Square Garden, the man who led the Pacers to an NBA Finals appearance with Coach Larry Joe Bird, Jalen Rose on that squad. That was a great squad back in the day. Ran into a couple of Michael Jordan teams. So I think Reggie is still cemented as the greatest Pacer of all time. But if Tyrese keeps at the present rate that he's at, a couple more years, he's going to have a very, very strong case to being the second greatest Pacer of all time. But I think he's got quite a ways to go to pass up Reggie, in my opinion.
Who is the second? Who is the second greatest Pacer? That's the bigger question. Is it the Rifleman?
That's awesome. We were both thinking the same guy.
The Rifleman Chuck Person. Yes, done. Next question.
Vern Fleming.
Jermaine O'Neal. Now
Rick
Smits. Rick Smits. Come on, Rick Smits.
The Dutchman, baby. Let's go. Dale Davis.
I would say that either one of the Davis boys.
Austin Crozier. Remember, everybody was all excited about Austin Crozier for like 2 years.
Peja Stojakovic. There you go. I'm just going through a list here. Let's go. Actually, TJ McConnell. I think TJ McConnell's top 5.
There we go.
So at this time next week, they are going to have had 1, 2, 3. The series could be over by this time next week. My question to you, Rod, is the series going to be over, or are they going to be playing as we're recording?
I don't think the Pacers are going to sweep the Cavs. I really don't, but I also didn't think that they were going to win game number 2. I kind of wasn't surprised at game number 1. They came out like a house on fire, right? That's actually kind of the sneaky game that a road team needs to win, is that first game where the other team maybe isn't firing on all cylinders. We saw the same thing in Oklahoma City, right? Denver got them in the first game. There's another particular Eastern Conference series that is escaping my mind right now where that happened as well, but we don't want to talk about that. So no, I don't think the Pacers are going to sweep the Cavs.
Well, now that would necessarily be a sweep if, yeah. Well, I guess it would be if they were if they weren't playing when we did it. Chris, I was at the Knicks Pacers playoff game 6 last year, and it was the loudest and most fun I've ever had at a sporting event. What is the atmosphere going to be like tomorrow in Indianapolis?
Ooh, it's going to be it's going to be raucous. It's going to be loud. It is going to be almost earth shaking. I would say the only thing that would be able to top it is if we meet the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals. I think if that were to happen, you may get a little bit more out of the field house. But other than that, it's going to be as loud as it's ever been.
Okay, so Chris, I usually leave this for Rod, but excellent transition that we're going into the other Eastern Conference game between the Boston Celtics and New York Knickerbockers. The New York Knickerbockers have led, I believe, in the entire series about 34 seconds. It's actually like a minute and a half. They have not led very much, but they are up 2-0.
It's 12. Stop it.
Rod, Kristaps Porzingis, what illness does he have, and should we as a country be worried about this?
No, we as a country should not be worried about this. The Celtics should not be worried about it as much as they are. I do not understand the secrecy. I really don't. I don't understand the secrecy. I don't see how it benefits the Celtics. I don't see how it benefits Porzingis, and I absolutely refuse to believe that a dude who is that rich for a team that is as rich as the Celtics, that is in a town like Boston, that is a medical center in America, that we don't have the answer to this illness. So I'm just completely baffled as to why everybody is tight-lipped and we can't say anything about it. Because win or lose, I don't think Porzingis is on this team next year because of the tax bill for the new owner. So I don't quite understand what's going on here.
Chris, Jalen Brunson, he's someone who has been continuously said that, he's a flopper, but he comes up big at the end. How are you feeling about legacy? We talked a little bit about Halliburton's. What is Jalen Brunson doing right now for his legacy?
I mean, he's solidifying the age-old, New York playoff basketball toughness, right? I mean, the way he's playing reminds me of how I saw John Starks back in the 90s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hate to have to play against him, right? Just hate it because he's going to keep fighting. He's going to do everything he can to win, and that's what he's still do. That's what Brunson's doing. I hate it because he plays for the Knicks.
So, and I know a lot of people hate it because he plays for the Knicks. But Rod, are you even in the mindset to appreciate it right now, or are you just like not even there yet? I didn't think so.
Not.
So let's talk about something you might be. Joe Mazzulla is interesting because he says, oh wow, the Knicks made open threes. Weird. The Celtics have not made a lot of their open threes, and the old adage is live by the three, die by the three. But this is a whole nother level of they're not even taking 2-point shots. But nothing's going to change, right? Because that's what they do.
No, Joe Mazzulla is a complete psychopath, and that works for the Celtics in a lot of ways. It really does. The guy watches The Town before every game. He's watched The Town probably 45, 50 times. That movie's pretty good, but I don't know that I need to watch it 45 to 50 times. It's not like Major League or Wayne's World. A movie that leaves you feeling good by the end of it. It gives you a few laughs along the way. So there's no way he's not going to change. The Celtics, they don't change. It's part of their beauty in the last couple of years is that what we're going to do. We know what we're going we're still going to be better than you. And you hit it nail on the head, Jimmy. 25 out of 100 is not going to get it done. Okay. 25% from the 3-point line in the first 2 games in the playoffs is absolutely not going to get it done. 7 field goals that weren't 3-pointers in the entire second half of the first game. Just gross basketball. Tatum should be ashamed. Brown should be ashamed. Bazula should be ashamed. All of them should be ashamed. They're playing terribly.
All right, Chris, I'm going to ask you the same question I asked Rod in the previous series. They have 3 more games between now and the next time that we record. They do Saturday, Monday, Wednesday. Is this series still going to be going on when we record next Thursday? That means the Celtics would have to have won 2 games.
Yes. I think it's no question I see Boston being able to win 2 out of the next 3. They have to make a decision early in this game 3, though. If those threes aren't falling, they have to start driving to the basket. Otherwise, they're going to lose. They're going to get swept. Because I don't think if they don't start making threes and change up their offense, then yeah, they're not going to win.
Rod, I know you're not coming at this as a homer, but I do want you to kind of put on your basketball IQ hat here instead of your non-Celtics fan, the Pacers fan only. Do you think the Celtics have a chance to still come back in the series?
They're one of the best road teams the NBA has seen in recent history, so playing in Madison Square Garden doesn't scare me. But they seem to be really, really cold right now, right? Shooting is a bit streaky that way. Every single guy on the team is not hitting shots, right? Derek White's not really shooting that well. Drew Holiday's not shooting that well. Horford is missing a bunch of his threes, and you can normally count on him. And Porzingis apparently can't play. So I'm confident in the Celtics' ability to play on the road, but I'm not incredibly confident in their ability to make shots. So that has me a little bit worried. But I, like Chris, I don't think the Knicks are going to take this in 4 or 5 games. I don't think that's happening.
Okay. Do you really think it matters if Porzingis plays, Rod?
Yes,
didn't you guys pretty much prove last year that he doesn't need to for you guys to be successful?
But in the playoffs, though, he did, and he did a real good job in some of those playoff games, dude.
Guess what the Celtics like to do, Chris, when they can't get a 3-pointer? They like to give the ball to Kristaps Porzingis and let him work.
Yeah.
So right now they can't do that, right? They're not going to give the ball to Al Horford and let him work. As much as I love Luke Cornett, you're not doing that either. So then you're looking at 4 perimeter guys. It's Drew, it's Derek, it's Jalen, and it's Jason, right? Jason's playing terribly. Maybe his wrist is banged up, but I'm sorry, everybody in the playoffs is banged up. Jalen's knee's all gimpy, you know what I mean? Drew had the trap finger or whatever's going on. Porzingis has some sort of autoimmune disease that nobody can pinpoint. My question is, can't we dust off Greg House? Can't we dust off Greg House, MD, have him sit down with Porzingis for a couple of minutes, make some snide remarks, and figure out what this thing's all about, Jimmy? Can't we do that?
It's so strange because you're right. You know, everyone is saying all the medical and da-da-da-da-da. They have to know what it is. No one can say it, obviously, because of HIPAA, but they know what it is. So, hey, Kristaps, just be like, are you okay? Something else that we know for sure. Hey, Rod, what do these 3 people have in common? Kevin Knox II, Pat Spencer, and Jonathan Kuminga.
These are all 3 people that play for the Golden State Warriors.
They all played tonight for the Golden State Warriors. Who did not play, though, Chris? Stephen Curry, who for the first time in his career is out with a hamstring injury that could miss up to a week, which is going to be the majority of the games here, Chris. How worried are the Warriors?
You got to be scared if you're a Warriors fan. I know you have Jimmy Butler now, but it's not quite the same playoff Jimmy that we had 5 years ago, right? So it's not the same. You don't have the shooters to pick up the slack that Steph Curry creates. You just don't have it. So where's the offense going to come from?
So
they don't have any.
Angry at you right now. Buddy Hield is very angry at you right now, Chris. He says, "I can shoot. Give me the ball."
He's not shooting very well.
I will say you have one guy that can shoot who's not shooting well. And then you have 4 other people that are essentially defensive guys.
Jonathan Kuminga is getting his value up, especially tonight, with 10 points on 5 and 5 from the field. The Golden State Warriors are down 17 points to the T-Wolves, so no team is going to come back from 17 down at half. So that's going to be a win. This series will be 1-1, right? Rod, if you are the T-Wolves, how are you feeling? Are you feeling okay if you win this game? Are you still feeling okay because Anthony Edwards has not played very well at all? He only has 7 points on 2 of 7 tonight, and then game 1 was a train wreck.
No, I'm not feeling incredibly confident if I'm the Minnesota Timberwolves because of the fact that Ant is up and down and because of your number 2 and number 3 guys are Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert, right? I'm not trying to take slice of either one of them, but they've both been a bit of a mixed bag at times in their career. So if Ant Edwards isn't going to show out the way he did all year long and you're relying on Randle and Gobert, you might have some off nights, kind of like they did in game 1.
Yeah, I mean, Randall is not afraid, which is good. Gobert kind of is, though, sometimes. He's had, some really good games in the playoffs. But, yeah, if I'm the T-Wolves, if we win this game, I'm feeling okay because Edwards hasn't gotten to where he needs to yet, but he does need to get there as soon as possible.
They have a similar problem to Boston because they're not hitting shots either. You can go back to that final game against the Lakers. They set the record for missed threes in a game before Boston said, hold my beer, and couldn't hit anything. And they continue that in game 1. So they need to start hitting shots too. At least Minnesota can drive to the basket.
And then I want to talk, dude, the Nuggets and the Thunder, man. I love this. The Thunder's so funny. You know what? They're like, oh, we lost? Fine, we're going to beat you by 50. We don't even care anymore. Was that the wake-up call the Thunder needed, Rod? Are they just going to take care of the Nuggets now, or do you see this series going deep?
I thought the Nuggets were done versus the Clippers, so I'm not going to
like
count
twice.
Out Jokic.
Yeah,
I'm not going to count out Jokic, and I also really don't like the Thunder at all. So go Nuggets.
Okay, yeah, I think that everyone always says how great Jokic is, but then they still count the team out. But Jokic just can put him on his back and win. Chris, do you think the Nuggets could win this series?
Okay, so you guys aren't wrong. You can't count out the Joker, right? But here's a guy who doesn't want to stick around for parades because he has to get back to his horses. He's won MVP how many years? He's won his championship. How many times do you think he wants to keep having to carry this entire team through another whole series? We can't expect him to get 40 and 20 and 10 every single night, right? So are you surprised that he turned around and got a 17, 9, and 8 after the 40 and 20? I don't think that you can count on him to carry him in this series. I think Denver's done, and I think Oklahoma City gets it.
I mean, that's still a pretty decent stat line for a lot of people, for sure. But it's almost a triple. Yeah, no kidding.
Tatum would take that right now.
No kidding. But yeah, I think the Thunder have this one wrapped up as well.
Jimmy, can I jump in here real quick?
Sure.
This whole notion with Jokic, right? That he loves his horses and that he's just going to quit. Like,
oh yeah, forgot. Yeah.
I don't know about that. Did you see the clip of him just absolutely lighting up his teammates during that timeout, right? Where he's standing up yelling at everybody? That doesn't seem like a guy to me that doesn't care very much. Like, I think this dude's going to stick around because he doesn't like all the trappings of the NBA, but he is a competitor, dude. And he's going to stick around and compete for as long as he can.
And we are going to talk finally about the draft lottery, which will happen before we record next. It's an exciting time in the NBA. The Cooper Flag lottery is coming. I want to know who you think would benefit the most from having Cooper Flag on their team, and then who you would want to see Cooper Flag on. And I'm going to go over the teams in the lottery now. I'll go first, and then I'll have you guys go. We have the Jazz, Wizards, Hornets, Pelicans, 76ers, the Nets, Raptors, and Spurs, the Rockets, Trailblazers, Mavericks, Bulls, and Hawks. And I would love to see the Mavericks win the lottery and get Cooper Flag. I think it would be the greatest thing ever. I love anarchy. I think that would just Nico would just sit back with the cigar. People would still hate him, no question. They'd ask when he's going to trade Cooper Flag, for Joel Embiid or somebody like that. But I just think it would give us a lot of great stories, and I think the Mavericks would be great there. The team I would like to see, selfishly, you know what? Let's go. Chicago Bulls. Let's get them back. They deserve it. They've got a great owner. They they don't deserve it. They have great fans. I'd like to see Cooper Flag on the Bulls. Why the heck not? Chris.
That was a great transition because I think if you want real anarchy in the NBA to keep a franchise relevant, I think you give it to Philadelphia, send them to the 76ers, and then we get a whole nother, this is a new process, who knows what, and then we watch it all blow up in flames again.
Okay. So you're anti-Philadelphia. What team would you like to see win the lottery?
I guess Charlotte, part of me, right? I mean, the GOAT still owns part of that team. I think Michael Jordan deserves a little bit of a win. He doesn't own any of it anymore. He sold all of it.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Oh well. Listen,
Still
I lived in North
Charlotte.
Carolina. I have a little feels for Charlotte, so yeah, give it to Charlotte. They need a win. That franchise needs a win. That city kind of needs a win after their football team and everything else. Yeah.
Hey Rod, do you have any feels for anybody here? What's the best story, or anarchy or whatever you want to call it, to win the lottery?
I don't want him to go to the Pelicans or the Hornets or the Nets because all of those teams are completely irrelevant. I don't want him to go to the Bulls because that team can't get out of its own way. I don't want him to go to Philadelphia because that's absolutely terribly mean to Cooper Flag to settle into Joel Embiid and Paul George, two dudes that never play, but make a whole boatload of money. Go ahead.
He earned it by going to Duke.
You're such a hater. You're such a hater now. Like you've totally you just hate all the time. You just hate.
It's not your great grandfather's Duke anymore, Chris. Okay. So who you want him to say? Yes.
The answer is the Washington Wizards.
Okay. You want him to go to the Wizards, or that's the best story?
I would like him to go to the Wizards, and I think it's also the best story. The Wizards have a collection of guys who nobody's ever heard about, who are all pretty young, who are some competitors, right?
Koulibaly, Sarr.
They played a little tough at the end of the year. I have zero idea who their head coach is, but let him be the head coach for one more year while they're figuring it out for Cooper Flag. Let them show a little bit more improvement next year. That coach will get kicked out like every coach that has to deal with a bunch of losing. They'll bring in a coach who's actually good. And then the Washington Wizards can be relevant again because I do not want him to go to Charlotte and be part of a carnival act. All right. Melo Ball does not play real basketball. He's not interested in playing in real basketball. He's not interested in helping any of his teammates out. He's not interested in playing defense. He just is interested in getting Instagram followers and being a cool looking NBA player. And that's fine if all you want is clicks. But if you actually want to win basketball games, you need to do something other than dribble, shoot threes, and try to get to the basket.
What about the Rock? Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, is there a team that is probably too good or doesn't deserve to get Cooper Flag? Like, is there a team
Jimmy
out
was
there?
Just about to bring up.
Well, but the Rockets, though, the Rockets have done it the right way, and they are on the precipice of making a huge trade for somebody and getting rid of a lot.
Lottery.
Not if they win the lottery, though, because if they win the lottery, then they
playoffs. They're not in the lottery.
They have someone's pick. They have someone else's pick.
Oh,
yeah,
whose pick?
All those
whose
trades.
Pick do they have?
I think it's Phoenix.
It is Phoenix.
Yeah. So they could win the lottery.
They gave Brooklyn back their picks for the Phoenix picks.
Yeah. It's a whole thing. But if Houston wins, they have that scorer now that they needed for sure in that last series.
Do they? See, I'm not entirely sure that Cooper Flag's going to come in and get a bunch of points. I think Cooper Flag's more of a guy that, like, I'm a jack of all trades, not necessarily.
He and Reed Shepherd going to chill on the bench for next year in Houston? Just kind of hang out there. And then, of course, I mean, the ultimate would be the Spurs winning it. I mean, that would be a you need to call the authorities to see what's going on in the NBA, because having Wemby and Flag together would be kind of cool. I think
that'd be the third rookie of the year in a row from the Spurs as well, if Cooper Flag ends up being as great as we think, right? Because Wembanyama won it the year before, and then Stephon Castle just won it.
Mm-hmm. And if you have not seen the picture of Wembanyama, Castle, David Robinson, and Tim Duncan, please look at that picture. And remember one thing: David Robinson is legitimately 7'1" and looks short next to Victor Wembanyama. And with that, you've been listening to the Fast Break on. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Tim Duncan in that photo looking like a guy that tries to rent you a jet ski at every resort in the Caribbean. Like, come
And you know
on,
what?
Tim.
He's happy about it, dude. He's happy. He loves it. He's loving his life.
He earned that.
You've been listening to the Fast Break on the More You Knows Podcasting Network. Up next, it's the Yeah We Know podcast.
Goodbye, Internet.
Get it together, Celtics.
Welcome to the Yeah We Know podcast, part of the More You Know Podcasting Network. You're in the ring with Jimmy, Chris, and Phil sucks. Rod, why does Phil suck?
Because he does. All right. He just does. I can't stand the sight of him. I can't stand the stupid song when it kicks on. I can't stand the stupid crowd chanting his name all the time. I can't stand Phil Brooks. And I was so angry at myself for not realizing that, of course, Phil was going to show up during that Seth Rollins and Jey Uso match. And then I was mad for seeing him on my TV screen again and knowing that Seth is now going to have to fight friggin' Phil Brooks. Damn it.
Chris, your thoughts?
I'm pretty sure that match is still going on because when Punk came out and intervened, I never saw the ref have them ring the bell, have them stop the match or anything. So I'm pretty sure, according to official WWE rules, the match is still ongoing.
It could still be ongoing for sure with that. Of course, Jey Uso was then also, after the cameras went off the air, sucker punched by Logan Paul, who he will be wrestling at the PLE coming up this week. Do you think
see that? Why are we doing stuff after the credits roll, Jimmy? What's the point of that? You're supposed to be able to go for as long as you want on Netflix, yet they go for less than 3 hours. You're supposed to be able to curse. They block it out. Like, what are we doing on Netflix other than hyping up every stinking comedy special that Netflix has to throw our way?
There are quite a lot of comedy specials coming up on Netflix. It's to get that viral moment, Rod. You know, social media, you know, the TikTok, the X, you got to get that viral moment so people go there instead of watching the program that paid you. That's a weird thing to do, isn't it?
Yes, I don't get it.
Chris, Paul Heyman laid out a pretty specific overview of what he has done in the last 5 years. Did you think that was convincing, and are you excited to see where this new evolution goes?
Evolution.
I know, I didn't mean it.
Listen, there is not much that Paul Heyman does that I don't enjoy as a wrestling fan, right?
Even his spray tans?
Even the spray tans. Do I agree with Paul Heyman, the character, about all that he's accomplished in the last 5 years? Probably not. Thought it was, but do I expect anything other than that from Paul Heyman? No, I don't.
Wait a minute. Are you prepared to give Roman Reigns some credit then? If you're saying that Paul Heyman didn't have anything to do with it, are you prepared to give Roman Reigns some credit then? Because that was a lot of what Heyman was talking about, the rise of Roman Reigns.
I mean, you want to talk about a guy that's able to win and keep his belt all the time because he's got some wacky brothers that follow him around and interfere with all of his matches and make sure he wins all the time. Yeah, I'm sure that's all Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns and not just a whole group of individuals doing things.
So you're not a fan of Roman Reigns then, or the Bloodline? Yeah, I forgot, Chris. You hated the Bloodline storyline. You know, one of the best storylines in the past, 30 years in WWE. But no, it wasn't good.
Right up there with
I don't like him.
Explode, and Chris doesn't care.
He didn't buy it at all. Speaking about caring, Rod, you got to see Rusev in action for the first time since February of 2020. I know it was against Otis. Were you impressed?
I was. I like the Rusev character, right? If we don't have a Braun Strowman in our universe anymore, and R.I.P. Braun Strowman, not R.I.P., but best wishes to Braun Strowman and whatever he decides to do now, and also probably good for him because I think he was walking wounded for like his last 9 months in the WWE. So go get yourself healthy and get some huge appearances to show up at armories across the country. Good for you. But we need a new big guy, and if that's going to be, Rusev, then I'm all about it. I didn't like the whole, oh, look at me, I'm sending a message to the back by continuing to do the move as the refs try to break it up. I didn't like that whole deal, but his performance in the match I appreciated.
Yeah, there was a decent amount of releases here recently. Obviously, Braun Strowman, Dakota Kai as well. Dakota Kai was hurt a lot, so hopefully she's going to be able to land on her feet. Whether it's
literally.
I mean, literally
that would be huge for her if she could actually put weight on her knees.
We have bad guy Becky Lynch, Chris. Bad guy Becky Lynch is back. She is mean. She's going for the Intercontinental Championship. Are you buying Becky, or do you think we should have kept her as a face?
I have an unfortunate lack of enthusiasm for this feud. And I don't know where to put it if it's because I don't have any kind of feelings towards the Lyra character, or if it's because Becky is trying to be a heel, which seems a little forced.
I think you're going to get a good match, hopefully. I mean, and we haven't seen Becky wrestle in a while, so we do need to look at that. We have to keep that in consideration. But I think we're going to get a pretty good match, and hopefully, Rod, they'll be able to get the crowd into it, and maybe we'll actually have a finish to a women's wrestling match, which would be nice.
Yeah, that would be an odd concept to actually see a 1-2-3 involving some females there, but I want to like Lyra, right? I understand that we need to have, new up and coming stars, so like she seems to be talented, but man, it's just a case of they moved her up too quick. Like she can't be going promo for promo with Becky Lynch. Just the same way Tiffany Stratton shouldn't have been going promo for promo with Charlotte Flair. You know what I mean?
She can't go promo for promo with Chelsea Green, and that's who they took the belt off of.
Yeah. Speaking of promos, I think we've done it again, Rod. Yeah, we know podcast bump, Karrion Kross. He is the devil you know instead of the devil you don't. I love it, buddy. We got our boy. Our boy's back. Let's go.
Third most popular selling t-shirt on WWE.com right now is the Killer Kross t-shirt. The man doesn't wrestle, but every promo he cuts is solid gold, and I am incredibly excited for whatever they decide to do with Karrion Kross next, which will be some stupid match, and then we won't see him for months on end because they just have no respect for the guy.
Now, why would you? Yeah, you're kind of right, probably there. Chris, do you have any respect for him?
Yeah, I like Karrion Kross. I mean, even though I was not happy with when he was feuded with Drew a couple years ago, right? I still like his character. I like this thing. I think it's great that he is able as an individual professional. I'm glad that he is able to keep making the WWE so much money that they don't necessarily need him to wrestle all the time for him to stay on the payroll.
String them up and knock them down. That's his T-shirt that's going up there. It's a pretty cool, puppet hand manipulating a puppet. So that's a pretty cool T-shirt there for $34.99. Use promo code. Yeah, we know. No, there's no promo code for the WWE.
That'd be awesome,
website.
wouldn't it be?
That would be pretty sweet, though. It's been such a quick turnaround to this pay-per-view coming up that you're almost like, oh yeah, there's a premium live event this weekend, and it's actually on paper looks pretty good. Chris, can you name more than one match on the premium live event? I will say this: I'm not gonna lie. I'll give myself 3, but what the hell is that? All right, I'll give myself.
You gave yourself balloons.
Apparently, I gave myself balloons. There's some stuff going on at the new Jamriska compound here. But anyway, Chris, do you have any idea how many matches are on this PLE?
I know we got Gunther versus McAfee.
Okay, that's right? It. Okay.
I know we have. The Cena versus Orton.
Yep, in St. Louis. Yep.
Then we have Io Sky versus I can't remember now. Why am I drawing a blank?
Oh, is she wrestling in that?
I thought they said
know. He just gave us one a second ago. That's the third one that I know.
I mean, it's Roxanne Perez would be the right.
Well, that's who. I thought maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know.
But I thought, and then. Oh
no! Wait, I don't know. Whatever. Okay, so anyway, we have John Cena versus Randy Orton, Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch, Gunther versus Pat McAfee, the U.S. Championship, Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre versus LA Knight versus Damian Priest, the IC Championship match between Dominic Mysterio and Penta, and then perhaps Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax. So those are the matches we have coming up on the PLE. Let's talk about them now. Let's start with the maybe Tiffany Stratton versus Nia Jax. There is no way they're taking the belt off of Tiffany Stratton this quickly unless someone comes in and kind of messes with her. I just don't see it happening. I think Tiffany Stratton does overcome Nia Jax. She's going to win in some kind of a weird way, though, to not take all the heat off of Nia, Rod.
I'm going with Nia Jax. I absolutely refuse to nominate Tiffany Stratton for a win ever again after what she did to my queen at WrestleMania. So down with Tiffy time, down with Tiffany Stratton, down with people that come out of Barbie boxes. Go Nia Jax.
After what she did to Charlotte Flair, because of the two, Charlotte Flair looked really bad after that WrestleMania match. She didn't have her teeth. She had swollen everything. Yeah, okay. After what she did to Charlotte. She had the audacity to win. Chris King.
It's still Tiffy time.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think it's actually Tiffy time, and if Rod had any sense of being able to put personal
feelings
feelings away,
sense, you wouldn't hate on Charlotte Flair as much as you do, and I don't get on you guys for that. So
I don't really hate on Charlotte Flair that much. I'm just not going to root for Nia Jax. I don't like her at all.
Hey, don't worry. In another 4 months, when Charlotte Flair gets back in the ring again, we'll be able to talk about Charlotte Flair. Okay,
here we go. Always the same cracks out of you.
Well, it's so easy. The IC Championship match, Dominic Mysterio versus Penta. I love it. I think this is going to be a terrific match. Chris, who you got?
I have completely turned. I am all on Dom's side now. He's going to keep the title belt. I don't think anybody will get involved and interrupt.
You don't think anyone's going to get involved in a match between Dominic Mysterio and Penta?
And I think it's going to be a nice, clean match. We're going to see Dom get the pin. 1, 2, 3.
Hey, Rod, how horrible of a liar is Chris?
He's definitely not good at lying at all. He was like smiling the whole time delivering that. He couldn't even do it himself.
Who you got?
Give me Penta in a match that is stopped by El Grande Americano. Oh, wait, not Penta, excuse me. Dom Mysterio.
Yeah, I was going to say that was weird. Yeah. I actually really kind of like that El Grande Americano coming in. I think Mysterio's got to win, which is weird because Penta was on that train to get that championship at Mania, but maybe that cooled off a little bit. So yeah, I think Dom Mysterio wins that as well.
Of course it cooled off because the only move Triple H has is to bring somebody back. So he brought Rey Fenix in, and then he brought back Rusev. It's the only move he has. So guys can only be hot for a couple of weeks till Triple H brings in some new guy because it's the only storytelling angle Triple H ever wants to do.
Okay, so Chris does not like the bloodline. Rod does not like the fact that Triple H only brings guys back, and Jimmy is waiting to see Charlotte Flair wrestle again. We have the U.S. Championship match between Jacob Fatu, Drew McIntyre, LA Knight, and Damian Priest. You know, if Fatu just wouldn't have won this, I'd say Priest, because Priest needs something to do. I'm a little worried about him moving forward for the next 6 to 8 months, but I think Jacob Fatu's got to win this, Rod.
This match is the epitome of what I really get mad about, okay? We've got zero idea what to do with any 4 of these dudes. So you know what? Let's just have them in a fatal 4-way at Backlash. I mean, just absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous that we can't figure out something better to do with Priest or McIntyre or LA Knight. We just got to throw them in with Jacob Fatu. And I don't like fatal 4-way matches. I really don't. I don't like this one. It's just cooked up for no apparent reason. As much as I love LA Knight, he seems to kind of just be thrown into this. I know he just lost to Fatu, but he doesn't have to have a rematch at the next pay-per-view. So I don't like this gimmick at all. I guess I'm going to go with Fatu.
So when Backlash first came about, it was called WrestleMania Backlash. I think it only happened like one time. And we did see a lot of those rematches from WrestleMania if the titles change hands. Obviously, that's been a long time ago that's happened, and people kind of got bored with it because it was just, you just saw all of this. So what's the big deal with WrestleMania when you have a Backlash here? In this case, I do agree with you on this one, Rod. I know we don't always see eye to eye, but It does seem to me, Chris, that they are just throwing these guys in together. They'll put on a good show. But ultimately, though, I think Fatu wins, just like Rod said. Chris?
I am rooting for my guy, LA Knight, even though my boy Drew is also in this match.
I was going to say that's big time there.
I'm rooting for LA Knight, and I think the WWE gives him the belt back. I think with way some of the night is going to go on this PLD, you're going to need something that these fans can cheer about and get behind. So I think that they're going to have LA Knight, who would get the biggest pop by winning this belt.
Rod, we forgot this. We forgot the solo factor, though. We forgot the solo Sikoa factor. Is he gonna cost Jacob Fatu the title here? Maybe even accidentally.
Yeah, I suppose that's definitely something they seem to be trying to allude to. So
yeah,
maybe, but I still think Fatu wins.
Chris, you may not be.
Likes Fatu, Chris.
Yeah. Oh, they're huge behind him. Lyra Valkyria, the Intercontinental Champion, versus Becky Lynch, the challenger. Are they going to give it to Becky?
No.
I don't think they're
to get Lyra over.
Okay, so you think Becky's going to lose to Lyra. Do you think it's going to be clean?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Chris.
Becky Lynch.
Okay, just you had to pick
I
somebody.
I think it's
win and a dastardly win.
Yeah, I think it's going to be easier. Okay, for one, I don't really care for the other girls. I'm more of a fan of Becky. But I do think if you really want to make her a bad guy, it's easier to make her an arrogant type bad guy with a belt on her.
Well, and I mean that does boost the Intercontinental Championship up a little bit, but does it boost it up enough that her losing to Lyra, would boost it up? I like Lyra in this one too. I think I'm going to go Lyra.
I want Big Time Bex to come back if she's going to be heel, Jim. Let's get the Big Time Bex thing that pops up across the screen when she comes down to the ring if she's playing heel again. I miss Big Time Bex.
Big Time Bex. Gunther versus Pat McAfee in a sanctioned bloodbath match. There's some rumors about this match, so I'll go last on this one. Chris, who you got?
It's hard for me to see a scenario that they have Pat McAfee take another severe type beatdown of I feel like something's going to happen. I don't know what. Even before you said rumors, I feel like they're going to have McAfee come out on top, but it's not going to be. It's going to be some weird way that they're going to make Gunther tap out again. Right?
Gunther tap out again.
That's kind of what I see. I mean, that's kind of what started the little push out. You heard Michael Cole. I'm not the one that tapped out, Gunther. You tapped out. I don't know how, but I see Gunther getting tapped out by McAfee.
Rod, you see McAfee putting the figure four leg lock on him, Boston Crab, Anaconda Vice. Who do you think is going to win this match? What's going to happen?
I think Gunther's going to absolutely wipe the floor with Pat McAfee, and we're not going to see him for a little while. That's what I think is going to happen.
Okay, so I think McAfee's going to win, but only because of outside interference. I could see this being where Goldberg comes back and causes Gunther the champion, the match here, and then they wrestle it at SummerSlam. Bill Goldberg comes back, and
Bill Goldberg's garage.
Yes, the same guy, because he wants to have one final match, and a final match at SummerSlam against Gunther where he loses would be it. So that does make a little bit of sense here. Give McAfee the win. McAfee's chest will be bleeding through every shirt he wears next week, just so you know. It's not going to be pretty.
Is there a scenario though where like they don't want McAfee on commentary for a while because he's got stuff to do, and like that's why I went with Mike.
No, I kind of your idea is also a good idea too, because maybe he's got some stuff going on. Although isn't this isn't his busy time. Maybe, who knows?
The college football season's his busy time.
Maybe he's having another one of those big night outs where he just airs his grievances up on stage. Maybe he's having another one of those.
Yeah, I did watch the entire thing. I don't even know what's happening. We all know what Chris says about the John Cena Randy Orton match. Chris, go over your scenario. What you think's going to happen in this match?
John Cena has repeatedly told us that he is only here to ruin wrestling. He has told us many times. He told us the last time that he only has to do 27 more appearances, nothing about matches. People do not be surprised when we don't see Cena wrestle Orton at this next PLE on Saturday. I don't see it happening. We're not going to see a wrestling match.
I see. I love the idea in theory. I really do. I think that would be that the amount of heat would be tremendous, right? But also, you want to make sure everyone's safe. This is Randy Orton's hometown. They want to see him wrestle. If this match comes out first, I think that's going to happen. But I don't think it's going to happen. Rod.
I'm with Chris. Let's go. John Cena's not going to fight him. We're going to have a situation where we're going to be looking at that clock and we're going to be like, oh my God, there's not really that much time left for this main event. And sure, Cena can't go for very long anymore. We all saw that in the Cody match. He wrestled absolutely terribly. I mean, just terribly. So I'm with Chris on this, man. At first, I wanted to completely shoot him down and be like, look at the crazy old man swinging at clouds again. But I love this idea. Let's go. Piss off St. Louis. I don't give a shit about those people.
Ding, ding, ding. He just walks away and leaves. It gets counted out.
Just roll credits and then have the crazy stuff happen after the credits. That's apparently what WWE loves to do. So
he doesn't even have to go into the ring for the match to even start. He can just like walk out there.
No, he has to be. He has to be. He has to be in the ring. Bell's got a ring. Both of them have to be in the ring.
Yeah, ref won't ring the bell until he gets in the ring.
No, that's what I'm saying. He won't even. It won't even start. They won't ring the bell because Cena will walk out, make an entrance. He'll walk around the ring and then walk right back out the ramp and out the door.
See, I'm not for that. I want him to get in the ring and then leave. I want him to start the match and then get counted out. I don't want him to just not even get in there.
I think that would be that would be a terrific way to continue this storyline that would ultimately lead up to like a Hell in a Cell type situation.
John Cena's not going to get in a cell.
Have to be. Well, then how are you going to keep him in the ring?
Listen.
That guy that you saw wrestle at WrestleMania is going to get in a cell, Jimmy.
All right. Okay. Lumberjack match then. Fine. Lumberjack match.
They teased us already during Raw when they were showing the flashback to the I Quit match between Cena and Orton and how good it was. And they had all these old wrestlers talking about how great of a match it was.
Yeah, I Quit matches take like 35 minutes. No chance John Cena's got that left in him.
I guess. But you don't do that.
I also don't want to look at translucent John Cena for 35 minutes, all right? If John's going to wrestle for 35 minutes, make him keep a shirt on. That ghost white that he's got going on is just...
Maybe he should talk to Paul Heyman. You're saying.
I tell you what, Rod called me a hater during the basketball pod. He has done nothing but hate on everything in this one.
Well, Rod, I believe, is just in a situation where he's tired of seeing some stuff that is very easy to change. I mean, listen, this stuff is not hard.
I'm just not a Triple H fanboy. That's where I'm at. I'm just not a Triple H fanboy. I'm not going to sit here and say that Triple H is a god who walks amongst men and can make zero mistakes in booking WWE events. I think that's garbage. He absolutely makes mistakes.
And with that, you've been listening to the Yeah We Know podcast, part of the More You Knows podcasting network. You're in the ring with Jimmy, Chris, and Rod.
You heard me, Triple H. You make a lot of mistakes. I don't care what anybody else says.
Goodbye, Net. Yeah.
Eat it, Paul.